progress have you made in terms of breaking through some of that?
Okay, breaking through some of what is specifically.
I mean, like dealing with your incumbent, and since your last campaign, and where have you made progress, like in terms of inroads, where you know that now there's even more people?
Well, listen, I mean, the road to my election is going to go through local Democratic parties. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, getting endorsements from the 14 of the county and legislative district local parties is going to be important to my campaign. And so I've been making the rounds. I did in 2020, but I only got endorsed by half of them, which means the state party would not allow me access to their voter database. But this time I think we're making better inroads. The reality is any of these local parties that I go to, I align with their platform. I mean, and I've got support of, I've got some open support and then some less than open support because they don't want to, have the appearance of thumbing the scales for me at all. But I've got a fair amount of support. I've got endorsement committee chairs who are like, we're going to ensure that you're treated fairly. And that's all I can ask for, is that I am given a fair opportunity to get in front of people and state my case. And state the case against Larson, and as you know, what I do a lot of is a big part of my campaign is oppo research, and I think a lot of people shy away from, they're like, we don't want to hear what's bad about him. We want to hear what's going to be good about you. And I'm like, to hell with that. You have got to hear what's bad about him, because that's, if I thought he was good, I wouldn't be running against him. So let me tell you why he is failing. And one of the big things that I wanted to talk about that we just press released on today, I tweeted on it and it went out on my campaign email, is the Boeing 737 MAX crashes that happened in 2018, 2019 with Lion Air out of Indonesia and Ethiopian Air killed almost 350 passengers and crew. Really, what that came down to was a failure of congressional oversight. There's a brand new documentary out on Netflix. It's called Downfall: The Case Against Boeing. And they really detail how bad the corporate culture was at Boeing, a company that had gone from being the most respected airline manufacturer in the world. I remember flying Boeing 747s in the early 80s or late 70s and early 80s transatlantic. And it was just such a big thing, Pan Am Clipper and all of that. Boeing was very respected, but they merged with McDonnell Douglas in 1996, and the corporate culture just went in the tank, and they got a lot of competition from Airbus, and their response to it was cutting a lot of corners, trying to push through designs that were substandard. And the Netflix documentary that I just watched on 2 days ago really detailed how bad corporate culture is, and what happened with Boeing just goes, it's across the board with corporate culture in America these days. But what I was waiting for with this documentary was for them to identify that there was a failure of governmental oversight, and they didn't do it. I was waiting for an hour and a half for a failure of government oversight. Because what I know is Rick Larson, the guy I'm challenging here in Washington State, was chair of aviation, and he takes a ton of money specifically from Boeing, right? And that money is for him to look the other way when Boeing comes and says, we want to deregulate our industry. And that's exactly what happened. The aircraft aviation manufacturing industry had lobbied Congress over and over and over again they call it streamlining. Well, streamlining is deregulation, deregulating oversight of their own parts manufacturer. And this led directly to the crashes that happened in 2018 and 2019, and I'm going to hang that thing around his neck. He was the ranking minority member of the House Aviation Departments from 2013, and then he became chair of the Aviation Department when the Democrats took the House in 2019. And he takes a ton of money from the industry, and he is the poster child for why there should not be corporate contributions, and particularly why, if you're sitting on a committee that is a regulatory committee for a particular industry, that you should not be anywhere near money from that industry. He is literally the poster child for how bad things can be when that corruption happens. So that's a big thing. I press released on it today. Check my Twitter, read my press release. But I'm going to hit him hard with this thing. I think people need to know this is where government fails.
Yeah, I agree. But here's what's interesting. So I've recently been given the opportunity to chair a PAC for a statewide race, but it's for a progressive candidate. And the reality is you can't win a statewide race without big money. You can't do it. Maybe in Vermont you can do that. You can't do that in Florida. It's not going to happen. You can't do it. So there has to be a PAC. And so my thought on this is sort of like, yeah, we need to get the money out, but I kind of feel like in the meantime, we need to sort of fight back we need to use the system to our advantage as best as we can. And I feel like I'd rather have someone like me chairing a PAC, knowing where money's coming from and knowing what our mission is. And that maybe that's not the worst way for us to maybe do things. What are your thoughts?
There's a difference between a PAC and a corporate PAC. Like corporate lobbying money is not the same as a progressive PAC. It's not the same as if I was going to take money from Brand New Congress or, if we can know where that money is coming from, and we see that it's
we lost them. So it wasn't my fault.
You guys, I feel like they're dropping like flies on me tonight, people. It's sad. It's sad. I'm here alone.
Yeah, we'll just, let's just blame Russia. That's
here. He's back. He's back.
I'm just going to go with my crappy computer cam instead of this little webcam thing here has been failing on me the last few days. I'm going to have to get another one. Can you hear me okay?
That was a pretty quick recovery, I've got to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
But audio is good?
The audio is good. So you're cool with the idea, because I was even thinking from this thing that I'm working on that I think that generational change should have a PAC. And I think that's something that we should do and raise large sums of money from places that are on our side.
Here's the thing about.
Now we lost audio. Now we can't hear. Something happened. Peter, you can't hear him, right?
Okay.
It's not me.
Now we can hear you.
Okay. All right. I still had the camera plugged in, and I had a microphone attached to it. So now the whole damn thing is unplugged. Technology, right? So here's the thing about PACs. As long as all of the books are open and you see exactly who is giving money to it, and you can say, let's say the CEO of a company gave $10,000 to a PAC, because I think our PACs are essentially you can give as much as you want.
In Florida, it's the Wild West. In Florida, it's the Wild West.
Okay.
There's no limits. There's no limits.
So I think if the books are open and people can go through the books and wow. Like if some shitty person is dropping money on a PAC, then you can say, look, I don't want this person's money, right? I don't want this person's money. I think a PAC can reject money from certain individuals, but if you're about raising money for a progressive candidate and a PAC is a way to organize that money, then it's okay. As long as the books are open, as long as it's not dark money, I think there's definitely some issues with quote unquote super PACs, right? Yep. Because that's dark money. So it's not a super PAC, but it's a PAC where everybody can look at the books then I think it's okay. I would still prefer that people just go donate to candidates directly. I mean,
well,
you know,
it would be nice, but when you have a state the size of ours, it's not going to happen. And the person on the other side that we need to sort of unite against is sitting on a $14 million war chest. So you're not doing that with small dollar donations in Florida. It's not happening. So we have to be somewhat realistic, you know, but if like the Seminoles, let's say hypothetically, wanted to donate a huge chunk of money because they don't like what Big Sugar is doing, we'd be happy to take it. You know, so
I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
You know,
Peter, any comments on on my PAC idea since you're involved in it?
Again, you know, people are going to donate one way or the other. They're either going to donate the limit or they're going to donate through bundling. But again, it really comes down to the cause. If they know that you're not taking corporate special interest money, then that's really what it's about. If you're not taking money from Big Sugar and people understand that that's a problem in the state of Florida, just like people in the state of, you know, Washington know that there's a huge problem with taking money from Microsoft, from Boeing, from, you know, any of, you know, Amazon, you know who the titans of industry are, and you know who are the ones that are causing the problem. There are people, however, with deep pockets that understand that the system is in big trouble and that there needs to be elected representation of by and for the people. And that is a very tough nut to crack right now. And the people that are there, you know, even when the alarms are being sounded, they don't care because they're convinced, just like in the movie Don't Look Up, that they're going to get on that rocket ship and get off the planet if everything goes to hell. But the truth is there is no way off, and we've only got this one, and you better figure it out.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.